I boarded my flight to Dili, the capital city of East Timor, with an open heart and no idea what to expect. From the moment I arrived, I was struck by the kindness and strength of the East Timorese people. East Timor, or Timor-Leste as it's known locally, quickly became one of the most memorable places I've ever visited. The friendships I formed and the stories of overcoming adversity have left a lasting impression on me. Despite its beauty and the warmth of its people, Timor-Leste has a complex history marked by colonization and conflict, having been under Portuguese, Japanese, and Indonesian rule. It was only in 2002 that the country gained independence, making it one of Asia's youngest nations. This history was new to me, and I felt compelled to learn more and share the stories of this unique country through the perspectives of those who call it home. One such perspective came from my friend Ellie, who works at the Centro Nacional Chega, a museum that was once a prison. Ellie shared her personal experiences with the country's turbulent past and her hopes for its future. Through her eyes, I gained a deeper understanding of Timor-Leste's struggles and aspirations. This video is my attempt to convey the spirit of East Timor and its people, a story of resilience, friendship, and a nation's journey towards healing and growth. Hi, Ellie!
So I don't have to introduce myself.
If you want to, but you don't have to.
Yes. So I'd like to make a short introduction about these places. So for many times ago, this place is known as Comarca Dili because it was constructed in 1963 from Portuguese government. So Portuguese government constructed this building and they used this building as a prison to detain Timorese people during the time they can't able to pay taxes. So they were captured by the Portuguese government and sent them here. During Portuguese time here, the Timorese people, they didn't have an opportunity to have their own political parties, even to go to schools. Only kings and queens family, their families can go to access to the good education and etc.
During Portuguese?
Yes, Portuguese time. But as we know, on 24th of April 1974, the Coronation Revolution happened in Portugal, and they also give us, as a Timorese people, one opportunity to have our own political parties. So on 1975, we have 5 political parties with different ideologies. So the 5 political parties are UDP, ISDT that transformed to Fretilin, and Apodeti, Kota, and Travagista. So they have different ideologies. The UDT want to have unilateral, gradual independence, and the Fretilin want to have immediate. Because of the different ideologies between Fretilin and UDT, so they began to have a conflict. So CBO happened in 11th of August, start of 11th of August 1975, and then UDP party used these places as a prison to detain the Fretilin parties. And what happened to the Portuguese government? They left East Timor and they go to the Atauro Island, and they never come back during the time. So the civil war started from 11th of August 1975 until 20th of August. The Fretilin take over the city again, and they also take over these places. And the prisoners here was to be like the UDP party. So they will capture the UDP party and send here again. Like they used to do like that until 7th of December 1975, Indonesian invasions. So when Indonesian invasion here, all of the prisoners, the Fretilin, they all go to the mountains. They also bring the prisoners with them. So the Indonesian control this building, and they use this building to detain against Fretilin and those political parties that against Indonesian government. And in this building, they are not only imprisoned men, but they also imprison children and women. Because human, they also been involved in clandestine movement, and children from 12 until 17 years old, they also know about the information where is our resistance stay, what are they doing, and etc. So those information that Indonesian soldiers want, and they capture those children, came here for torturing, investigation, and etc. So it has happened until 1999 when Indonesia left East Timor because we had the referendum on 30th of August 1999 when Habibie gave us two options to choose. One is to be with Indonesian and the second one is to get independence. So the result of voting is coming out 78.5%. They rejected to be a part of Indonesian. So it means that we have our own freedom. But what happened next is massacres in every municipality. Indonesian destroy everything. 75% of the buildings, schools, houses was burned out. Our cities, our people, and like everything is become zero. Yeah. And then they left this Timor. They burning everything and include this building. They burning it out, except the dark cell is still the original one. So we reconstruct this building in 2002, and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, they are the one that use these places to write a report and identify human violation during 1975 until 1999. And the report, they name it Chega, because it comes from the statement from all the victims and other peoples that they go to interview, and they used to say enough, no more conflict. They don't want to repeat the same thing. That's why the report named Chega. Chega means enough, no more conflict. And now this place is known as Centro Nacional Chega. It is.
Amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, would you like?
Yeah, I would love.
Starvation happened because during Indonesian invasion, they're bombing every municipality. They're using napalm bomb. Napalm bomb during the time it was illegal. Napalm bomb. Later I will show you the photos. So they're bombing every municipality, and it causes to destroy the sources of food. And they also poisoning waters. So those who drink the waters will die. And because of it, a lot of people like starving and etc. And no international agency that allowed to give us food supplies. We only have like CRS, Catholic Relief Service, and also we have the Red Cross from International ICRC. They are the one that supplies food, but with limited stocks, and people are still like suffering. And the picture here, it shows us about all the people. They staying at the concentration camps because of Indonesian soldiers captured them, and all of them stay at the concentration camps. All of their movement were controlled by the Indonesian, so they can't able to find food or something else to eat. And a lot of children, as we can see the picture right there, these places, we call it bote. Bote. It is a handcraft made by our own people, and until now we still use it. And if you want to see it, later I will show you the handcraft. So they put everything inside and bring it with them. The clothes, the food, and everything.
And that's how you ran away, or how
Yes.
people ran away.
We didn't have a bag to carry our things. We only have a handcraft made out by the palm tree. So we use the leaf here, and we used to make up bags, something on like box, or something to lay on, and everything. Yes. We also cut the palm tree here in the middle. We take out later, like we make it into the powder, and we make it like this. Sago, and then we eat it.
I think I tried this.
Yeah.
Is it like a jelly?
Yes, it is, and this is how we survive. And because it's not contain poison, and some of them also we eat like sweet potatoes, cassavas, and etc. And it requires a lot of process to have sago, the powder of sago. All of the prisoners that used to be in prison here, and some of them were taken to the Indonesian, Cipinang, Jakarta, like here around 43 prisoners. Actual Prime Minister, Sanana Gusmão, so he was in prison in Chipina with Fernando Lasama. He already passed away, but he is still alive. And both of them were at the same prison at Chipina. He was a student during the time, but he was making like demonstration against Indonesian government, and the police captured him and put both of them together. Only use the real prison like this, but they also use like warehouse to detain the prisoners, and on some part they also like make like sexual violence against humans at some part. Yeah. They also use Chinese soaps, like these pictures. It still exists until now. This one still exists. This one also still exists. They use this place as a detention place. And up here, they also have a dark cells, where they will like torturing and investigate the prisoners. Have you seen the Atauro Island from here?
I haven't. I'm
You
going
haven't?
tomorrow.
Really? So the Atauro Island is a place of deport. There's no food at Atauro Island. So for those who can survive, they can still live, but not, they will be die because of starving. But the ICRC, some part they still supplies food. But like they came very late sometimes, so people still like, some of them dying because of starvation. So the numbers of people that die because of starvation is 84,200 people. So this one is electrical chair that Indonesian soldiers use it to investigate the prisoners and also torturing. They also have a helmet and a pipe. All of it had electricity on it. So if they ask you questions but you don't answer, they will put electricity on your body or on your legs, and it will suck you until you not die, but like running out of energy, something like that.
When you see this chair,
I feel the pain, the crying, still feel it. So sometimes like people came here and they save their own histories. And when you see the videos from our resistance, no words to describe. Sometimes like it has a desire here inside, want to fight for the better futures. Yeah, I still have the cassette and the videos. Like when we watch it, stop, like we don't want to speak anymore. But we don't want to revenge to what happened already, but we just want to prepare ourselves and prove them that we are able to get independence, because during 24 years ago they say, how can you guys can get independence, even your own match you can't produce it or like doing it, you don't have your own fabric and everything, but we can prove them that the small island like Timor-Leste, we can stand on our own. Yeah. No revenge. So this part, like I mentioned before, the dark cells, it was not destroyed during 1999 when Indonesia left East Timor. So the graffiti, the colors and the smells, still the same. What's your steps? So every cell has 30 until 35 people inside these cells. Like only 2 mothers. Yeah, and 30 until 35 people inside. They also use the same toilet here. We will already cover the toilet. Every cell has a toilet at the corner. And they didn't have a water to put everything. So the air is not really comfortable, and the people will stay here, count from the day that they enter until it can be up to 1 month, some of them 3 months, and some of them 3 years, some of them until Indonesian left. and there's no one to control, and they go out by themselves. And both of them are still alive until now, and they say for us about their own histories. So he mentioned like here during they stay here, they can't have a time to take a shower. So like 6 months at once, they only have one opportunity to take a showers. But every day, sometimes they will be torturing, cutting bodies and burning body using cigarettes, sexual violence, and another type of violence that committed by the Indonesian soldiers. So as I mentioned, this prison is not only prison men, but also children. So Indonesian soldiers sometimes use the children to commit the violence against their own parents. Like ask them to bring the soup, the boiled soup, and put it here over the head. Like imagine you do it to your own mom, and you will stay with those memories until the rest of your life. Yeah. And sometimes the children, they were forced to see everything that Indonesian soldiers do. For example, maybe sexual violence, and then the children watch everything. And now they all, some of them like me, grown up like me, and they still live with those memories until the rest of their lives. Yeah. Here, some of them write in Soru is a place where they came from, and Augusto, it was a name from someone, and a cross here to pray every day, and etc. That's why we also have a philosophy. We say that the wall also can speak, because they write a message here. So they also write here, they use bahasa Indonesia. Tuhan Maha Adil dan suci. Aku orang bersalah dan najis. It means God is like justice, but I am, what is it? Mistake? Something like I'm not like God. Yes.
Oh, God is justice, but I'm not.
Yes. Cukup sudah derita alami di Timur sampai masuk ke komata. Enough for this pain. Enough. Yeah, enough. That's why this place is now, its name is Chega. It's mean enough. They will take out all of the prisoners outside for torturing or something else. At the night time, they will ask them here. But the Indonesian soldier will put the sanitation water up until here and ask the prisoner to stay inside. And imagine that the food that they receive to eat is just thrown from this, on top from this, we have the wall here. They just throw the food, and then the food will like throw on the ground, and they will pick it to eat. This prison, they have like Octavio, Jordan, Del Rosu, Justino Mota, and Justin. And they also, some of them mentioned that one man here, the prisoners, he came here until the day that it was to be celebrated, the 1 anniversary of getting married with his wife, but he can't able to meet his wife. And he just wrote like a note for anniversary of the walls. In the toilet, the air is not really comfortable. The food is not for 35 people.
And it's just always this dark.
Yes. And some of them never see the light. And until they go out, they look like vampires. All of their skin is really, really white. And they can't even see the light.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But this one is like the dark cells. As we can see here, it's not a color, but it was a blood. Here as well as blood. And as we can see, like finger, right? Fingers. top of this, and they put the straw on the floor, and they will pick it to eat. And sometimes the food is leftover food from Indonesian soldiers. And if the family want to visit, they have to look from this small wall here. And imagine like the smells, the air condition is not really comfortable, and because of no waters supply, so they have to save their own urine and drink it. For 3 years, or sometimes months, they are suffering a lot. The journalist was prohibited. They're not allowed to come here in Timor-Leste to take a photos, to make a videos, and etc. That's why the international community never know about what's really happening in Timor-Leste, because all of the journalists were killed. Yeah. Some of them Timorese people, before and afters, they're fighting with Indonesians soldiers, and this is the end of the result. And he's actually from Dutch, Sander Toons. He was Dutch and also were killed by the Tenis. Tenis is actually Tentara Indonesia. It means Indonesian soldiers. And he is actually from Indonesian, but he's working for Timorese independence. Like he came here as a volunteer, working with priests, but he was captured by the Indonesian soldiers and militia, and they killed him with the priests and the sisters and other volunteers. All of them were killed during the time. Not only them, we also have the 5 journalists from Australia.
Australians.
Were killed in volleyball, and now the place is known as Volleyball 5 because of the 5 journalists were killed at the volleyball. That's like food, right to have like place has to stay and etc. Property, right to work, right to vote, right to housing and everything, but those were violated during the invasion. But it is committed by the Indonesian soldiers, and some part also committed by our own resistance. Yes. So as we can see here, the violation committed by the Indonesian is here. Targeting, killing, displacing, torturing, looting as well. Yes. Destruction of private homes and property, poisoning of waters and food supplies. And some of them also committed by our resistance. But it's not really systematic. And this is the Nepal bomb that I mentioned.
What is this?
Nepal bomb. Yes. U.S. supplies.
Oh, a bomb.
Yes.
And what happened with this bomb?
They're bombing every municipality, destroy sources of food, killing a lot of peoples. Yes, everything. People die from this year 1975 until 1999 is around this number, and 80,600 people die because of massacres. It can be in group or individuals. So some of the victims, they came here and they share about their experience about sexual violence. So she told me that she was like raped by the Indonesian. 10 of the Indonesian soldiers used to rape her at the same time. And it causes for her to have like 4 children. And all of them, their fathers, her mom not recognized their fathers because it was rape. Yeah, and when we get independence, and sometimes the society still discriminate them because of your father is Indonesian, and you know what what is going on around society. They will call you like, oh, Bapa niya on. It means like the Indonesian soldiers' daughters or sons. And if your mom was was raped by the Indonesian, and they would call her nona, it means prostitute. But it's actually not what they want. It is because of war. That's why some of the statements they say, if there no war during the time, maybe she's still like a beautiful human that people will never call her like nona or prostitute. But because of this war, people call me like nona or prostitute. Young people, they used to commit suicide. I don't know why, but people commit suicide. It is probably, maybe they have a problem with their families or sometimes social issues, something else, and then they commit suicide. And now something that is really, really trend right now in Timor-Leste is like, people used to blame youth people because of they being a part of like martial art, and then they blame them for everything that happened in Timor-Leste. If there's a conflict in some places and they say, oh, those because of the martial art, young people involved in martial art and they commit a conflict. Everything that happened, small thing happened, conflict happened, they thought like, oh, it's probably martial art, and then they commit. So like right now youth used to be like a person that committed a conflict, but they don't know like everything happened for a reason. And sometimes political parties just use the youth to win the election, even they've been a part of martial art and like they support the group of martial art, but when they win the election and they forgot about the youth. And when the conflict happened in our society, then they blame us. They said, you are the youth with mind of conflict and everything, but they are doing nothing to solve. They didn't give us space to have our own like creativity or something like that. They used like just blame.
Even now.
Even now still happen. And if you see the news a weeks ago, it's happened like burning houses, people like punching others, and it's happened. It's happened like what happened in 1999. People burning houses.
A week ago?
Yes,
really?
a week ago. We only have like election for villagers, and that's happened. Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I think everything's happened related to what has happened in 1999 and until now, or something else.
It's like it feels like there's a lot of pain still in people's
Still
hearts.
inside.
And it's kind of coming out as violence, maybe.
Or maybe because like here in Timor-Leste we really, really lack of education and also lack of place for you to like express their art, their idea, what they're going to do. A lot of unemployment. They didn't have nothing to do, and yeah.
It's got to come out somewhere.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What do you think could help? What do you think could help keep down the violence amongst youth or, yeah?
I think don't blame us first. Give us space because they are not giving us space. Give us space and then we can show our own creativities. Don't blame us first because you guys use us. Just give us space and trust. Because now what happened is the oldest one run the country, and they never give an opportunity for youth people. Yes, Leste burns out. When Indonesia left East Timor, here, this is how Timor-Leste looks. We only have the walls, no rooftops. But when I flew out from here, I'll have some work to do. I'll gain some money and send it back to my parents, and they can have a better life as well. My siblings can go to schools, and our social lives can increase, and my family can have a better houses. They can eat for 3 times at one day. If not, one day we can just only have twice to eat, but it's not always like protein food or something like this.
Even now.
Yes, even now.
That's the situation right now.
Yes, and people like, so when like the youth flew to the Australian, Korean, UK, and then etc., then the family will mix like change it. The houses, their siblings also can access to the good educations, health, and etc. They can have their own cars, motorbikes, and etc. They can like have nice clothes. If not, we only have like salaries here in Timor-Leste is only around 100, and now it's $125. It's like standard.
A month.
Yes, and those who at the top they have like a huge money.
Do you want to leave?
No, I want to stay and fight.